Well, the Russian economy in some ways appears to be resilient despite facing severe sanctions. So with us now to discuss this is the chief economist for the Institute of International Finance, Robin Brooks. Thank you so much for joining us, Robin. You're over this way.
Good morning. How are
good
you?
morning. Really good. So what I really wanted to talk to you about is the ruble, which at one point certainly seemed like it was in free fall. And funnily enough, has now sort of appears to have bounced back almost to pre-invasion levels. I know this is not happening organically. Can you walk us through what's being done to inflate the ruble?
Sure. First of all, I'd say don't take the ruble and its recovery at face value. Russia imposed capital controls on its citizens. So if you are a Russian and want to take money out of Russia, which a lot of people currently want to do, then that's not possible. And there are restrictions on how much you can move out. So where ordinarily there would be a lot of selling of the ruble going on, it's currently constrained or prohibited. And so the current recovery of the ruble is, to a large extent, artificial. There is a genuine part to the ruble recovery, however, which is that Russia is a big energy exporter. As you know, natural gas prices and oil prices have gone way up. And so that means there is, every hour of every day, more money coming into Russian coffers for its energy exports, and that is helping the ruble a little bit. So net, it's a little bit of both. Mostly don't trust what you see on the screens.
So there's the value of the ruble, but then there's the actual sort of experience in Russia, how people are living. And the expectation was that these sanctions would be so crippling that, Russians would be miserable. They would feel the pain. Is there a connection between the value of the ruble and the experiences that Russians are actually having? Are they being impacted by this sort of confusing economic situation in Russia?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me start, first of all, with a good quote by the late Senator John McCain, who in 2015 said that Russia is a gas station masquerading as a country. And what he meant was Russia basically does one thing, which is to export energy, natural gas, coal, crude oil, and other raw commodities. Sanctions so far have encumbered the ability of the gas station to move money around. They have encumbered the ability of the gas station to use the savings it has in the bank account. They have not yet shut down the true business model of the gas station, which is to provide energy and gas. So that is why Western countries right now are debating an energy embargo. If and when that happens, that will truly be a hit to the Russian economy. But as it stands right now, we are already forecasting GDP to drop minus 15% this year. That's huge. So for regular Russians on the street, this is a very, very difficult and tough experience.
That's the forecast. What's the GDP now? Has it dropped?
GDP is dropping big time. Obviously, data lag, but from everything we can see, demand for consumer durables, all the things that you spend on when you're feeling good about yourself, all of those things have fallen off the cliff. Not to mention that the upper middle class in Russia is fond of, say, Gucci handbags, and those you can't even buy in Russia anymore.
Indeed. Robin Brooks, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.